Believe me when I say that you don't need to have any physical property before you are able to earn from this method I will share with you. If you want to learn about this, grab your pen and notepads and let's get right into the video. Believe me when I say Hi everyone, you are welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Money, the Real Estate Series edition. Call me Mo. I am a business owner and I share content relating to business, finance, and general money tips through literature, art, and music. If you are new here, you're welcome. If you are returning, thank you so much. If you feel so inclined to give this video a like, a share, or a subscription, do not hesitate to do so. And before I get right into today's video, I'd like to share with you a quick disclaimer. Please note that the information I shared here today is solely for educational purpose and should neither be treated as business, finance, advertisement, non-legal advice. Thank you so very much. You're welcome back. So in today's video, I will share with you ways in which you can own a property digitally and own addresses digitally via the PropyKeys. Now, for those who do not know what PropyKey is that innovative platform within the Propy ecosystem. It does leverage the blockchain technology to revolutionize real estate ownership. So how does it work? Now, PropyKeys is a part of the blockchain technology, and the aim is to revolutionize how property is owned. Now, what people do, or once you're a part of the system, what you are expected to do to earn is to mint addresses. So you would mint physical addresses as NFTs. And once they are minted, they become your own. I mean, the addresses become your own. And you could decide to mint landmarks, home addresses of anybody. Now, once the real life owner of that property comes to it within the Propy ecosystem, they tend to pay a token for that ownership to revert to them. Please note that you aren't owning real property. You're not owning the physical property, rather you're owning the NFT to the digital address or the property that you have minted online. So what this does is to allow a digital representation of real world properties. By that way, physical properties are brought on chain because somebody like you and me might have minted it. Now, one of the key features of PropyKeys is its ability to allow you mint addresses. So you could decide to mint digital addresses or even landmarks. I know that a number of people have minted the major landmarks in the world with PropyKeys. I know that because when I started minting my own addresses, I'd seen that a lot of addresses and particularly landmarks had been taken. Even at the time, there were no options anymore for landmarks to be minted. And this could earn you up to $1,000 when you are ready to transfer the ownership of those minted addresses into the hands of the rightful owners. Again, PropyKeys doesn't hand over ownership of the real estate or physical property directly. It only gives you ownership of the minted NFT that pertains to that particular property that you have decided to mint. Now, if there are no other options to mint landmarks, you could decide to mint addresses. Now, PropyKey allows you to mint any sort of address, and I mean any address, and you do not have to have ownership of that physical address. So if you have an address in mind and you want to mint, PropyKeys allow you rather to mint such address, and when the real owner of that property or that address decides to own its ownership on PropyKeys, you can transfer ownership when a deed and a whole process is involved. Actually, ownership is transferred. I mean, the ownership of the NFT now is transferred to that owner for a token. Now, that token now depends on a number of things, but from what I understand, you could have up to $1,000 when you want to sell. Now, the real essence of PropyKeys is to efficiently bring physical addresses on chain. So it is more or less like a bridge between digital representation of real world property addresses as well as
property, real property ownership. I know that a number of us might have a lot of things or might have learned a lot about Propy itself. I mean, the Propy ecosystem itself. But the keys, in a way, help, digital ownership of property meet with physical ownership. That way, physical ownership of properties are brought in or onto the ecosystem via this minting process, and those who mint it are able to earn a token for that work. So I know a number of us at this point might be wondering, how does the money now come in? How do I make this $1,000 that this person has been talking about? It's simple. The moment you have minted an address or a landmark and you have a situation where the real life owner of that property or that address decides to claim ownership on the Propy ecosystem or the PropyKeys ecosystem, you can decide to sell that property. I mean the NFT now. So when you're minting an NFT and you are holding it as a sort of property. So the real owner of that property might come to say, okay, I know that I own this property. I have the deed probably in the state's registry, or they are also going through a process of doing a number of things or transferring that ownership or making that ownership known on the Propy ecosystem, and they find out that somebody has in a way minted that address which that property is domiciled. That person can pay a token to you as the owner of the NFT to that address so that they can have that NFT in exchange. I hope it is understood. So it's just a simple way of me selling, for instance, me selling the NFT of an address I have minted to the real owner of the address. I hope you understand. Now, to make it easier to understand, just figure a way where you have a domain name and somebody else decides to own that name because they want to make money off you. So figure out minting of addresses and NFTs as owning domain names or trying to reclaim a domain name that used to or belongs to you. That's the simplest way to put it. So you will have to pay a token to the person who owns that domain name so that you can reclaim ownership of the domain name. I usually will call PropyKeys the domain name of real estate because it allows you to mint addresses that do not belong to you and then sell them to the real owners when they lay a claim for that property. I hope you found value in this video. If you did, do consider giving it a like, a share, or a subscription. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now.